major update in the S22 series world. It looks like we're going to be getting the AI features, the same thing that rolled out with OneUI 6.1 to the S23 series phones about a month ago. And it looks like it's probably going to come out around May, at least is what I'm reading and seeing on the internet. So I guess Samsung doesn't want to sell phones anymore. I guess they want people to hang on to their phones. Actually, no, all joking aside, most people really don't or shouldn't upgrade their phone for about every 3 years, because there's only so much of a turnaround whenever it comes to the features, the updates, really what you get out of it. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless you have like a carrier jump program to go be buying a new $1,200, $1,300 phone every year. But some of us do. Probably people watching my channel do, because we're all big tech nerds. We want the latest and greatest. But this is really exciting because it looks like the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1 powered S22 series phones are going to get a lot of the AI features. From what I'm reading, it looks like the only thing that we're not going to get is the slow-mo stuff. So basically the stuff we have on here, we have the circle to search, generative edit, summarization of websites, interpreter mode, live translate. It looks like that stuff is going to come to the S22 series phones, and that's phenomenal. I'm really enjoying this era of Samsung making their phones current and relevant. In the past, whenever you got an update, it's like, okay, we support our phones 4 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. Okay, we get the new Android version, but wait, those phone features are reserved for the new ones. And that's something that Google's really bad about. If they get the new features, they don't necessarily always roll them back to the previous ones, and they don't even give some of their features to their current phones. So it's interesting to me to see how Google does things versus what Samsung is doing, and I think this is part of an interesting plan. When they came out with the S24 series phones, and they talked about AI for all, AI for everyone, Samsung AI, I was like, okay, cool, we're going to get this on the S24, maybe some of the main features will be on the S24 Ultra, and then we see the keynote, and it's like, it's coming to the S24, the Plus, and the Ultra. And then, but wait, the S23 series phones will get it in second half of the year or a couple months from now. And then that started rolling out. Everybody was all excited about that. But one thing that left me thinking, the S23 FE, which is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1, got all these smart features minus the slow-mo. And I was like, okay, well, if the S23 FE can get it, that means that the S22 series should, in theory, also be able to support that, because it's the same chip and it's actually a better phone in many ways. So then I'm reading today, oh, by the way, the S22 series phones are going to get it. I'm like, aha, light bulb went off. I was kind of expecting this, but I want to come out and talk about it in case it doesn't show up and get people's expectations up. So if you've got an S22, 22 Plus, 22 Ultra, you should be getting a lot of the same AI features that we just got with the S24. And I think this makes a lot of sense. Because if Samsung knows that people are not going to update their phone for 2 or 3 years, then they should totally give them those features, so that way they want to continue to buy into the ecosphere. If you've got a happy camper, they're more likely to come back and buy another phone later. So maybe the S22 guy didn't upgrade to the S24 or the S22 gal. S25, though, might be in that ballpark, and then, oh, but wait, they give the best trade-in values out of anybody when it comes to their phones, really. So it'll be interesting to see this stuff roll out, and I'll be interested to get people's feedback and thoughts on it. So if you've got an S22 series phone, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Are you excited about this? Is it something that you want? Do you see any added value on your platform that you're using with certain things like the generative edit for the photos, or the live translate if you want to do some translation stuff, the translator if you want to be able to communicate with people in other languages, circle to search, all that great stuff. And I think they have meaning and value. The only thing that I have lingering is, we know from the keynote when they talked about it, if you go to the S24 website, scroll down, check out the footnotes with little asterisks on it, asterisks, and it says that they're free until the end of 2025. Well, that's the end of next year. We're closely, very soon, going to be in the middle of 2024. So basically, it's like 2 years of free AI, presumably. I mean, what happens at the end when it says, oh, it's free for this amount of time? Well, that means that likely what's going to happen is once you move beyond that point, there's going to be some sort of charge, subscription, I don't know. I think that will backfire on them immensely, because you can't be giving away this free stuff and then 2 years later, oh yeah, we're going to start charging for it. I think that's complete BS. So I think there will be enough community pressure, just like there was with the screen on the S24 Ultra. There was a lot of people that are like, we don't like this new natural look, we don't like this new neutral tone, we miss the extreme vibrancy of the contrast and the saturation on the phones, give it to us. And well, they did. It took them about 6 weeks, and then they came out with an update to where you can change the contrast, the vibrancy on your phone to where it matches the previous standards, which is like S23 Ultra, S22 Ultra, or S21 Ultra. I think was the gold standard of maximum saturation on the phone. But you get the picture. I think there will be so many people that are upset about it that they'll just continue to pay the licensing fees to Google and give them to you for free. And that's the interesting thing. A lot of people don't realize this. See, Samsung AI features are actually Google AI features that are disguised with Samsung names. And this was very prevalent whenever we had Circle to Search that was announced. You remember the keynote, or maybe you don't, but when they announced the S24 series phones, they're like, and we're with Samsung AI, we've got Circle to Search, and like you can do all these cool things, and you can circle something, and it gives you the answer of what it is. And then simultaneously, Google's tweeting on Twitter or X saying, "Oh, on the same day, Circle to Search is coming to Google phones." So it's a Google feature that just happens to be on Samsung. So there's a lot of duality in the stuff that's going on right now with the way Samsung and Google are doing business. I guess Samsung's just funneling them money for their AI stuff and their expertise, but it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, because I didn't have a very favorable profile of the S22 series phones when they first came out because the battery life and the heat issues were atrocious. There was so much throttling going on. They got delisted from Geekbench because they were using their game optimization software to spoof the benchmark, so they didn't get caught doing that. Well, they did. And then they got delisted from the benchmarks. So there were issues surrounding Android 12 and the S22 series phones. So it'll be interesting to see how things are now. I've had a lot of people like, "Oh, it's been a year. It's been, all 2 years. Everything's hunky dory. They've got the battery life is way better and stuff." And that's all well and good. I'm sure there's stuff being throttled in the background, but it's a very powerful chipset. A lot of people don't realize that the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1 and the S22 series phones was still over 3 gigahertz. And then we had the Snapdragon for Samsung, Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 that was 3.36 gigahertz. And now what we have now, I mean, it's all powerful. But what they did is they optimized and added more focus on the systems on a chip to handle all these AI applications. So if you look at the actual power, there's not a whole lot of differences other than heat management and optimization between the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1, 2, and 3, other than the extended capabilities for AI. So it's interesting to see this. And then it's also funny because you look at the AI optimized custom tensor chip that's in the Pixel phones that's supposed to be able to do a lot of this stuff, and it's like, maybe it can't handle it so well. So that's why I'm a big advocate for them going back to Snapdragon. But anyway, that's a lot more than you probably wanted to hear. If you have an S22 series phone, look forward to this. A lot of new features that you should be getting. Get the OneUI 6.1 update. It looks like it's probably going to roll out sometime, probably in May. And I'll have a full video on that once it comes available. But I wanted to share the good news because if you've got an S22 series phone, it'll be even more relevant than ever. You get some of these cool AI features, and you'll be just like all the other cool kids with the S24 or the S23, and you didn't have to spend any money. You get those new free features. Hang on to them for a while, and I don't know, maybe you want to get an S25 next year. So that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, if you have some excitement, if you want to talk about it, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And also, if you see the cool background here, I'm currently in Chicago. I'm on a personal trip. Going to go hop on a train and trek across to Seattle, so it'll be interesting. I've got a vlog. I've been shooting footage for the last couple of days with like my Chicago leg of the trip that hopefully y'all will enjoy, see some of the sights. I went to the top of the John Hancock Tower Observatory. I went to the top of the Willis Tower, went out to the Navy Pier, went and did a lot of things that I'm going to share with you fine folks who are interested in watching it. But that's all I got. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.